Creativity is about allowing yourself to make mistakes. Art is knowing which ones to keep. We've got the best of the arts today on The Express. On today's show,
we even twisted the steel.
Jason Glatt and the art of motorcycle imagining.
At the end of the day, you've got something that didn't exist at the beginning of the day. That's the best fun of it all.
The what, who, and wow of the steampunk movement.
To give you an experience of seeing the world through someone else's eyes.
You have to show all your pride.
Jane Feng and how she's building her own Chinese dynasty.
It's interesting to explore the culture.
B-boy culture and the deeper meaning of the dance.
You express with your dance, right?
See that and more? Local expression. Welcome to The Express, only on Shaw TV. I'm Johanna Ward at the Surrey Art Gallery for one of their new exhibits, Finding Correspondences. It explores communication and translation. And really, isn't that what art's all about? Making a statement, your statement? Up first, it's an artist that you might not at first think of as an artist until you consider that all of his works of art are one of a kind, custom designed, and built by hand.
The sound of a hot rod motor and a hot rod Harley, there's just nothing better in the world. The hazard, the excitement, the danger, that just makes it all fun, right? Why do people jump off of cliffs and buildings? Because it's dangerous and it's exciting.
That draw to danger, the pull to push boundaries. It also translates to the building of bikes. Jason Glatt of Suicidal Cycles is willing to build anything once, and only once.
Absolutely everything done by hand.
Everything in this bike done by hand. Custom gas tank. The entire front end of this bike is all hand built. We even twisted the steel to make it look like it's curled like that. Everything I do is a complete custom one-off. We build every frame from scratch. We build all the gas tanks from scratch. So when you come to me for a bike, it's one of a kind. There's one out there and it's yours and that's it.
I've never seen anything that looks like this, especially this glass cylinder here.
The glass cylinder is the oil tank. Harley-Davidson's use an external oil tank. It's a dry sump oiling system. So we decided to do something different, and it's supposed to look like an old lamp from a ship from the 1800s.
I kind of think it looks like it's about to take over the world, and I'll follow, okay?
I'm not the only one. Jason's developed a loyal and ever-growing following. In the 6 years since he quit his day job, he says there's never been a time when the shop wasn't full of work.
I mean, I've done bikes as low as $8,000. They've look a lot more expensive than $8,000, and I think the most expensive bike that I've ever built is about $80,000. This one was a bit of a record build. I think 5 weeks start to finish. Pulled this one off. One of the unique features in this bike, it's kind of common to some of the stuff we do, is that very old school shifting technique. It's just like driving a car. You have to use your foot for the clutch and reach down here to shift your gears. So it makes it a little quirky in traffic and on rough roads, but it definitely adds to some of the excitement.
That's an old school feature called a suicide shift, one that has nothing to do with the name of the shop. That came to be from a bad crash Jason had years ago.
After the crash, I started riding around with a cast on, and it just sort of picked up as people called me Suicidal, so it stuck and sounded like a good name for a shop, so we just kept it.
Whether living on the edge or on fast tires, for Jason, choppers are a lifestyle and a love.
It's like being a musician or an actor or anybody that creates something with their hands. It's starting with something that starts in your head. You put it on steel, and at the end of the day, you've got something that didn't exist at the beginning of the day. That's the best fun of it all.
I'm sold. I'm ready to live dangerously, and I think that this is the bike I want.
Sounds good to me, but I'm thinking that one's going to take you a few years to work off.
Jason got his first bike at 7 years old, a Honda 70, and he still has it. His new shop is here in Surrey, and you can get the contact info at suicidalcycles.com. You're watching our Express special on the arts, and there are lots of amazing photographers all over the Lower Mainland and lots of places to get professional photos taken. But there's a photographer in Chinatown who's offering something a little bit different. She's not just framing your face, but also moments in history.
Jane Feng owns an art store in Chinatown, but her true passion is photography.
The photograph now is a part of my life. See, that camera, I love it.
Jane even opened up this studio space at the back of her store, and her photos, well, they're inspired by her Chinese heritage.
It's interesting to explore the culture.
Hi, how are you?
Today, one of Jane's regular customers, Lana, is coming in to take photos.
Really looking forward to today's session.
You see, that one is a later Qing Dynasty dress.
Jane specializes in costumes from different Chinese dynasties.
Today we start with the Qing Dynasty Empress dress.
Everything fits perfectly, actually. It's surprisingly comfortable.
The Empress, you have to show all your pride.
Well, this is very exciting. I feel very regal. I couldn't walk too fast and I probably couldn't run, but it's all right. But my mom's Chinese and I think that she will love these photos.
Jane has a huge stash of costumes.
People like to take a photo of this because there's a very colorful.
A big part of what you do is these very extravagant hats. I'm going to put mine on. What can you tell me about this one?
That's Chinese Qing Dynasty Empress dress. Actually, it's very good on you.
Really?
Looks so good.
I look like an empress?
I'm a little princess.
Oh, this is a princess hat.
Yeah.
And how many hats do you have here?
Each dynasty I have a different hat.
But you can also mix it up. Jane has modern dresses and she loves to shoot outside.
And it's also a bit more free. I was moving around outside. It's a lot of fun to have two such diverse shoots.
You don't have to have a Chinese background to do these pictures. Jane says most of her customers are tourists who will put them on Facebook.
The Facebook is kind of showing all your experience and share with your friend.
And as for Lana, she got some great photos and she's getting a lesson in Chinese culture by finishing off her shoot with a cup of tea.
Part of cultural exploration, so people could drink a tea.
I just love working with Jane. Her photos always turn out so beautifully.
I'm Bianca Saltrebecki in Vancouver for The Express.
Not like water.
Jane isn't just a photographer, she also paints, and she's found a way to combine both of her passions by doing body painting and then taking photos of her model. The website is hangfungarts.com. You're watching our Express special on the arts and the artists. After the break, fantasy, history, technology, and where their worlds collide.
Learning how things work and how things worked in the past and trying to bring that into the future again is really interesting.
Rainbow Falls through the lens of an award-winning photographer.
It's the most ideal when it's a drizzly, cloudy day.
You're watching local TV on The Express.
Community programming on Shaw has been generously sponsored in part by...
The Express is brought to you in part by Plum, fashion supplier to host Johanna Ward.